Well, I feel like I was really pleased with our guys' effort. I thought, especially defensively, the first half, I think it's hard for anybody to play much better defensively than we played the first half. And it wasn't bad the second half. I mean, for the game, what they shot, what 44% from the game, but for the game, but the difference was at the free throw line. So which means we're out of position a lot. But yet, I'm proud of our guys' effort. But as proud as I am of the effort, I told them I was disappointed, which meant what we expected more. And I thought we had some guys in foul trouble. I think Keith had 2 fouls in the first half, so we tried to be careful to make sure he didn't pick up his third. So probably battle foul trouble more this game than we have of the 4 games that we've played. And we just had too many missed opportunities, especially in that first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half. More often than not, that stretch can really go a long way to, kind of determine, the outcome of the game. But again, overall, I was pleased with our guys' effort and a lot we can build on, and I'm confident that we will.
Coach, first home game. Of course, can't pull out the video, but just looking at the box score with the rebounds. Y'all with 1 rebound short, and really this can be a question for the guys too. When you come out here and you're playing this non-conference schedule and you challenge a team of Oregon's caliber, how do you really look to this game as a building point of the rest of the non-conference schedule and when the SWAC starts in January?
Well, I answered, then I'll let them. But it's interesting you brought up rebounding, because what I've said to the guys today, that's defensive rebounding. That's our Achilles heel. That's our weakness. And Oregon out rebounds their opponents by 15 a game. That's a lot. As folks used to say, that's a heap. That's a heap of them. And I thought we held our own. And I want to be fair. Oregon was without a couple of players, but yet they've got you look up and down that list, you see a lot of 4 and 5 star. Guys like Evans just he's got 5 stars by his name. He's made a name for himself down at Mount Verde this past year. But yet that's the area that I thought we held our own, and it's the area that we focus on right now more than any other. You all can chime in.
Yeah, our previous games we've been getting out-rebounded when we played against Florida, Nebraska, Creighton. So coming to this game, we just really focused on defensive rebounding. And that's something that not only will help us in the rest of our non-conference schedule, but we'll go over into our conference schedule as well.
That will also going into these Nets games and starting off in practice, that'll give us more confidence. We're playing these Power 5 schools and things like that. We made a big improvement of that today, so back to the drawing boards and getting that confidence from practice, that'll help us.
Any other questions for our coach or the players?
Coach, getting this particular game, this early in the season, obviously behind a giant football weekend, so probably participation of the whole university was not there had it been separate. But how did you motivate the guys for what was not as big a crowd as will be on normal home games?
Just us. You know me, straight shooter. That's just us. That's what we can control. So, I think I speak for our team. I'm very appreciative of the people that did come out. But to your point, in an ideal situation, I'm kind of a dreamer. You and I've talked about this since the time it was scheduled, and it's not what I envisioned. But yet, to be consistent as a team, we talk about control what we can control. And let me quickly say, when this series Pac-12 SWAC challenge initially came about, the games were supposed to be held the first week, okay, which coincides with the decision the NCAA made, I don't know what, 5-6 years ago, to take college basketball from opening on a weekend to opening early in the week. Because what happens in November? You got all these football, all the conference races kind of what coming to a head. So the opening weekend of college basketball kind of gets lost. So that was the reason. So, for example, last year we opened up at Oregon. But because Oregon is leaving here, going over to play in the Emerald Classic over in Destin, I just thought it was only fair to move the game to accommodate them so they wouldn't have to make 2 trips all the way across the country. So in an ideal world, this game would have been played 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago yesterday, 2 weeks ago today, or 2 weeks ago tomorrow, in an ideal scenario. But, it is what it is, and I was appreciative of the fans that did come. And again, that's all we can control.
I got a question for KJ. So how does it feel to have coaches trust? How does it feel to have coaches trust in you to go out and play 37 minutes and lead the team?
It feels great. It's not just from the coach, but from my teammates as well. Just to have that behind me, I mean, it's everything. I'm going out there and we all fighting for each other. So, I mean, it's a great feeling to have everybody believe in me as well. I believe in myself.
I got to get better. I got to do a better job. I think his first college game against Creighton, he played 36, 37. And sometimes there are situations that are not ideal, but he never complained. But still, that's more minutes, than what we like. And we still sort of trying to figure out really what's our best lineup. What's our best, not only your best starting lineup, what's our best rotations. And quite frankly, we're not there yet. And and that takes time. Once we get to see them in different situations, and he shot the ball better tonight than he shot it, but I never blinked. I knew he was going to shoot it well. But playing that many minutes and getting us and trying to run the offense and all those things, it takes its toll. But to have a guy right out of high school come out at Creighton, you got 16,000 people there. He never blinked. The moment was never too big for him, and so he's going to have a great career.
Question for the fellas. When it was tight within 5 in the second half, what do you guys think that could have gone differently for you guys? What do you guys wish could change to have a better outcome?
Pretty much, just like Coach said, we came out, we played great the first half, great defense first half. Pretty much just trying to come out and think it's 0-0. Pretty much we knew that it was up, but just to think that it's a tie game now, and we just had to sit down and had to get these one stop by stop and play 4 minutes at a time. So we're just trying to do as well as we could with that.
Yeah, in those last 5 minutes, I had a couple of defensive plays where I had some slippers, so I just need to go back, watch this film, and do better next time.
Coach, to us on the outside, it looks one way. To a coach, it looks a different way. It appears already that this team, last year you had a team, a whole bunch of new different parts, and it just seemed like that team never quite gelled to playing team ball. But it seems this team is way ahead in that aspect of playing team ball and playing to each other's strengths.
I would agree with that. And what's interesting, we have almost a similar number of new players, which speaks to your point that we have better chemistry. You don't want to blame that on one particular person or player, but sometimes it only takes one. And we're in a different place in college athletics. Let me say, I just speak for what I know. I know we're in a different place, college basketball and college football, but I think it's here to stay. And I talked to the team last week when you look at, because I think it's important to keep them aware of what's going on around them. And when you look at the lawsuits that's going on with student athletes trying to become employees and form unions, we're not that far away. And so, again, I just use that as an example that the transfer portal, it's no accident that KJ is the only freshman on the team, and that part's not going to change. And I just Coach Leonard Hamilton made a comment last week, but he told me this a year ago, and I think I shared with some people. I mean, you can't name a better recruiter than Leonard Hamilton. I'm going all the way back, even before he was at Kentucky. And for him to say he missed it, he was a year late, coming to the realization of the impact of the transfer portal. And so as a result, you're going to continue to see these kinds of things happening, where you just got to try to make chemistry a priority and hope the guy's a good fit, but yet experience. Keith is a guy spent his first 2 years at Stetson. Shannon Grant, what y'all didn't see the real Shannon Grant tonight. Trust me, you're gonna leave here with a different opinion of him. He spent his first 3 years at Mercer. So we too have begun to put a greater emphasis on the transfer portal. But yeah, our chemistry is better. I think it's just a camaraderie there that sometimes it comes about faster, quicker than other times, but we see it growing, we see it coming, and I like the direction that we're headed.
So what are you looking for in terms of how do you take what you accomplished previous game, this game, and moving forward? You're still in the out of conference and so forth. What kind of growth are you looking for, and to set you up for conference play?
Well, first of all, I don't know how many we played tonight, but we thought coming in we could be 10 deep. And so, while it's early in the year, we've some guys that quite frankly hadn't really, played at a level that we need them to play at, which explains why he's, for example, is playing 37 minutes. Keith played a little less than 29, which now his minutes are good. I would like for him to play about that number of minutes, but maybe not for it to be the reason. He sat a long time in the first half, but we'll play again until the 29th. We'll play Auburn State, and I'm going to take a different approach than I've taken in the past, playing Auburn State and whomever else has been, Edward Waters or whatever. We're going to take the same approach that we took tonight. But we'll try to use those games to try to give greater attention to detail, iron out some areas that we've got to get better. We got to get tougher for one, but also to get more guys ready to play. Once you approach conference play, we'll have a rotation down at that point, and hopefully we'll have more guys ready to play that we feel good about. So now if we got the guys' minutes down where no one's more than 30 minutes a game, I really like if we can be at that point going into conference play, because you tell if you follow that teams in the league are doing some great things. You saw what Jackson State did on yesterday, and there was some other close call. Well, Southern beat UNLV, to open the season. So, but I'm confident that at that point we'll be where we need to be.
KJ, question for you. Early in the game, they came out in man. They kind of tried to face guard you really hard. Kind of deny you a little bit early. How did you? Was there anything you kind of found in yourself within the game to try to just loosen up and then find your own shots?
It was just more just getting into them more. Sometimes they'll run me off the screen and try to jump it. So like Coach taught me in practice, told me to come off tighter. just using my teammates and coming together as a team to pretty much get past that. So, I mean, that's something that we got to work on as a team, not just me, but everyone. We got to come together and get open.
Our last question from Brian.
Coach, question. I want to come back to the free throw discrepancy and just more of a big picture, because it seems to be a pattern that I'm seeing over the last couple of weeks when you got Power 6 programs versus whether it be a mid-major or HBC. You see these big discrepancies, and even in these close games where we had these upsets, it's like the mid-major teams got to do something really great, to sort of counteract that free throw discrepancy. I don't want to get you in trouble about talking about officiating, but is there something broad picture amongst you and fellow coaches or with the conference that address, do you look at these kind of things when there's time, and how do you address such a disparity that affects the non-conference schedule and affects a game like today where we're talking a 12-point difference it's made up mostly when you look at the free throw disparity?
Rarely do I think it's officials.
Okay.
This is our fourth game. We've had. I wasn't the officiating in Florida. I wasn't pleased, and we're part of the same consortium. Yeah. But for the most part, and now having said I wasn't pleased, that doesn't mean that they determine the outcome of the game. So each game we get to rate, we get to turn a report in, on the officials. But a lot of it, especially this time of the year, when you look at the number of teams from Power 5 programs that we're playing, and you all know the difference in what those schools have, whether you want to talk about, 3 or 4 strength and conditioning coaches, or all of those from a resource standpoint, and if you were to go by body weight, whatever, I mean, we got 2 inside guys now that's going to change. We haven't had guys the size of Shannon Grant and JD Jadarius Eatman, but for the most part, teams are more physical. They're bigger and they're more physical, and that's special in the backcourt. KJ's got a solid body, but Key can play both forward spots. We play him at the 4, primarily, and because we feel like he's going to be more of a mismatch problem for Power 5 schools. So we feel like it's his quickness and skill set against bigger, slower guys. And so we think he has more of advantage at this point in the season against bigger, slower guys. So his versatility really comes into play. But yet, you look at Nebraska's front line, Creighton's front line, Florida's front line. He was giving up 3, 4, 5 inches, 20, 30 pounds on average. And so I would attribute it more to those factors, than anything else. And I tell the team, we've got to get tougher. And you can be tougher. All of a sudden you ain't gonna improve the amount of the weight you can lift or put on whatever 10, 12 over. That ain't gonna happen. But yet you still can. There's some things that you can do differently, and you can do better. And I'm confident that we will, to at least we can narrow that. We can narrow that gap. And we still got Iowa State, UCF, and South Carolina left. But all of these games we played, now they prepare us for that, so we're not going to go into those games in awe or whatever.